Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, learn to bend dust, turn your phone into a laptop, and unlock the secrets of this wooden book. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for the KickCast, the podcast about crowdfunding, where we go out and find projects and let you know if you should back, track, or sack them. I am Ktdata, and joining me is the other half of the show, the wonderful half of the show, or I'm gonna just start calling you a world traveler from now on, the one and only Drew Tyler. How you doing today, man?
I'm the world traveler. La la la. I'm good. Life is good. I'm happy to be here as usual.
Yeah, I was jealous of your travels, and even more so after I saw you're like, oh, let's just go to California randomly.
It was pretty whimmy.
You're just that cool. So
yeah. No, it was pretty whimmy. I was just like, hey, well, we got to go. I got to be there for 5 hours on Tuesday. Let's just take the whole family. And we jumped in the car. We drove and we played and played and played and played. I worked a little and then we played some more and drove home. It was good.
I love it. And I have to give props to Peach that she's spontaneous like that. Because I know some wives are like, no, we haven't planned anything.
This was like summer itch that was like, wait a minute. So this means that we could actually see the beach this summer and not spend an arm and a leg. Let's go. Like she was way down.
I love it. And I don't tell her this, but like I've always had the picture of like you two like riding on a tandem bike down like a boardwalk somewhere. Like, I just can see both of you doing that, and I'm like,
someday.
And so my man crush on Drew is continuing, guys. But if this is your first time here,
that's how we start the show.
Welcome to the show. Usually I stroke Drew's ego at the beginning of the show because he's awesome on there. And then before we actually go into our projects, we have some news. So, Drew, on our last couple episodes, we've kind of talked about how Indiegogo has kind of partnered up with Newegg and stuff to start their accelerators and stuff.
Right. Yep.
And the question was like, who's gonna partner up with Kickstarter? And Kickstarter apparently has partnered up with Amazon, where they now actually have a landing page for their, what do they call it? Their
like their projects we love stuff, or
their Amazon Launchpad, which is kind of like a mini incubator, where they help you develop product and get it through, of course, the Amazon market on there and help you with developing. Now they actually have a full page of stuff made on Kickstarter that you can get there.
Like this is stuff that has all gone through, got kickstarted, and is actually available.
That's actually selling like the Oculus Rift here. That's the familiar one. What is this? Pyropet? Okay.
Wow.
There are a lot like the Piper computer kit that runs on the Raspberry Pi. That thing's cool. That's there. And so you can actually see that and see all the stuff out there. I know this print was pretty cool. Do you remember this where it's kind of turned your iPhone into a Polaroid?
Yes, that one's on there.
The Pebble, of course. These headphones, which I'm still skeptical about.
This is interesting. Yeah. A lot of these I never saw.
Yeah, like the Jamstick. This is barely finished. On there, that's pretty cool, and just like cool stuff like that. So I do like spending money. Well, okay, I don't like spending money, but
you do.
I spend money.
You like to spend money. You do it often.
I do it way too often, but yeah, on there. So I always love seeing these marketplaces because people are like, don't like most Kickstarters fail? No, and it's big enough where Amazon is selling some of these.
Yeah, there's quite a few too. This is great, and I love what I love about this is that it also incorporates their reviews, right? So the review system on Amazon, I use that all the time. I'll walk through any other store and I'll just be like, what do people think of this thing?
Yeah, and
so this is great.
Yeah, and this is the great thing about it is when we talk about building your community, if you look at most of these, they have like 4 or 5 stars each, and that's because they built a good community. That community is helping them out there. So that's always important on there. So kind of more tips that we actually have for project creators is our second news story. And we Drew harps this every single semester to all his students. And the ones that don't listen do very badly. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm assuming so. But Indiegogo actually has this article on their webpage on how being a great storyteller will make you a successful crowdfunder. On there, and that's kind of an important thing, right?
Yes, it is.
Doesn't that like draw you in when you're looking at projects? Is when you find a good story
Yeah, and the story has to be like, it just goes along with the project, but also goes along with like the everyman. Like this is, and maybe it's as simple as like, here's the problem, here's the solution, we have it. And if you tie that into good story, I think that works. Or even if it's a good like convincing story of, hey, this is why you need this, or why you should believe in us, right? We came from this position. So the story of the product itself, or the story of the company, all the stories engage, right? Stories just grab your hearts and just make you want to do something about it. That's what good story is all about. It brings you to action.
Yeah, and I love it too, because they also, it's not just about the creation of the project. They tell you, it's like the characters, because especially if you're not a well-known guy out there, you got to be able to tell your story to people saying, hey, you can put your trust in me. I'm not going to just take your money and disappear or make really bad mistakes. That's partially on there. And like, just, you create conflict and resolution, update your project backer saying, hey, we ran into an issue because widget A kept on failing for some reason. So we went through the troubleshooting process trying to figure out why widget A failed. And this is what we did, and a lot of places, if you kind of do that, people tend to be more forgiving if you're a little delayed on delivering your project deliverables.
Good storytelling. Agreed.
On there. So like before we kind of go on to our next section, any last tips about storytelling that you want to have people go? Because you are one of the master storytellers of the world.
What really works well, and I suppose it would also work well with projects, is having you got to think about things story-wise. Like especially if you're doing like a video with your project, story-wise, it's having a beginning, a middle, and an end, but also having a hero, somebody that you can center around. TV news does this really well with all of their stories, because even in a minute and a half story, if they're talking about healthcare or insurance fraud or something on a large scale, they still always bring it back and tell you a story about a single person that relates to everybody else. And so maybe that's the tip, is to have a beginning, a middle, end, and a hero that takes you through, if you're doing that for your project itself. So there's my tip.
Yep. See, Drew's dropping the knowledge bombs. And he's my hero. He's the hero of the show. Let's be honest. It is always the journey about Drew discovering these projects as I show him them.
This is brilliant. I love this.
So that's my hero in the story. All right. So before we jump into our big projects that we kind of do more in-depth discussion about, I wanted to give 2 quick kick shouts to projects. The first one is Fantasy Coin LLC. You've heard us mention them multiple times on there. They are friends of the show. Tim is a great guy. He actually just launched his other new project where he's doing legacy gaming coins this time. And he's going bigger, badder than before. This time he's 31 different themes that you can get on there. And he even shows you, like, you can get it shipped in this crate. And believe me, I've seen his coins in person. I have a couple of his coins on there. He actually gave me a super, super limited one that's only for Nerdtacular producers, but he had an extra one that he gave me. They're super high quality made. Make sure you guys just go check out Fantasy Coin, Legacy Gaming Coins this time, or Fantasy Coin LLC.
Someday in the distant future, somebody's gonna uncover a burnt down house or something, find all of these feudal Japan coin sets, or the ones with the dragons, and they're gonna be they're gonna make a whole museum based on.
And they're gonna wonder why there's space gems next to rupee or something.
Yep,
it's gonna be awesome. On there,
these are awesome looking.
And the next thing. Drew doesn't drink coffee, but I love coffee. And we actually interviewed these guys at CES this year. First Build, they actually finally launched their Prisma cold brew coffee. Make sure you guys go check that out. You can make cold brew in 10 minutes. Hint, normally it takes a minimum of overnight to make it. So this is kind of pretty cool that you can get it done in 10 minutes.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I may be back in that.
Shout out.
Yeah. All right, so now on to our major projects of the night. Drew, you do some cleaning, right, around the house, because you are the perfect husband.
Yeah, I certainly try to keep up with the missus, because she's very much cleaner than I am. We have these tolerance levels, and my tolerance is a little less, so she usually hits it before I do. But I do.
Yep. So do you ever have this problem where you're dusting something, right, and then 5 minutes later, just the dust is back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My nightstand every night. Yeah.
It's like I don't understand it, because I'm like, well, I used the thing and it took out the dirt. Yeah. But why is it back? And this is so soon on there. So our first project of the night is actually called the Dustbender. Super props for the project creator. I hope they're an Avatar fan, because that's just cool.
Dustbender.
Yeah, Dustbender on there. And what it is actually a way to remove those dust bunnies for good, because what you do is you hook it up to your vacuum on there, and then it has an attachment where you can attach compressed air to it with a trigger on it. So you spray the dust with the compressed air and have the vacuum suck up the dust as it blows up, or blows and gets into the air.
So it's blowing it off and
sucking it up. So you kind of have these dual designs away. So you attach the vacuum nozzle to the end of this, and then the can attachment goes to the bottom, and you can see how it just like you blow up the dust and it just gets sucked into the vacuum.
I'm like watching this video and I'm just bewildered.
Like, yeah, and it works too. He has a cool animated GIF of it working, where it's just sucking up the air right there.
Wow.
Like, and as far as I can tell, this is the only part that I'm a little unclear about, is that I think it just accepts normal compressed air cans that you can buy at Walmart and stuff.
Right.
So you don't even have to buy their branded one. I'm a little weary because the way he inserts it, there's no cap on it. So I've never tried to take off the cap of a compressed air can, but I guess you can because he did it.
Oh, like you maybe pop the fingertip sprayer off and pop it
on there, because you can see him putting it together right here where he just slips that in.
Yeah. And
then you put the compressed air can on there. I have to give props to this guy for doing all the animated GIFs.
They look good, man.
Because it's to the point. You know what he's talking about.
You just say GIFs.
I said GIF, but I said GIF earlier. I try to
as long as you alternate.
That's what I try to do. People don't notice it, but I do try to balance the two so that way people aren't angry at me.
It's always going to be a GIF for me. No, you're right. Beautiful, well job. Like double done.
Yeah, I love this. Especially, this is the one I love it for. Is he uses it for computer cases. Which, have you ever cleaned out a computer tower? Oh, you're just like
yeah.
There. So using this is awesome.
I mean, I'm really like astounded at and what he's hitting. They're like nooks and crannies that even if you dusted anything, it's just going to get spread out.
It's just going to get back there. So you're just pulling it all, like the vacuum's pulling it all in. I love it. There's a little attachment thing too. So like if the original nozzle's not long enough, you can attach it so it goes farther, and it like extends the compressed the air too on there. So like you see on here, it's like the short stack.
Right.
On there. I don't know if there's a picture of it, but right here, this is an extender arm on that front part. So if you can't reach close, you can add that extension onto it.
So I'm trying to figure out like what is the price point here. It looks like a nice little simple piece of plastic, stamp it together, $20, 25, 40.
So if you get the early bird, it's $20. If you want to get it retail, it's $40.
Okay.
It's not too bad, because what he is doing and what he's using this money for is actually injection molding all the pieces, because he's 3D printed everything. It works. Now he just needs to take it to that next step to get it
mass produce it.
Yeah, on there. So I love it. He's kind of like planned it out.
And if this was on Thingiverse, I would print one of these.
Yeah, on there. So like I really like it. He's working on. So he has. I love it when they put graphics, especially pretty ones, on here. So,
yeah.
So like, I mean, legal expenses. Man, lawyers take a lot of money.
Shake my fist at them.
Yeah. So you can see most of it is going for R&D and legal expenses on there, and then 35K of it's going for manufacturing, 25 for marketing, and then strategic planning on there. Probably try to get those in stores and stuff. But I love this idea. Does this sound like something you'd use?
Yeah, this totally does. It's like the Flowbee, but instead of cutting hair, you're blowing up dust and sucking it up. It's just I love the gun design. I think it's a fantastic idea.
And I love how it works with your vacuum already. So you're not like buying a specific vacuum for it. Because I've seen those too, where you get those computer vacuums and something like that.
Yeah.
But I got a vacuum.
I love the artwork, the design on this, the dust bunny that he has on that thumbnail.
Yeah, this thing is awesome. Where it's like, looking to eat you.
Yeah, that's the meanest bunny you'll ever see.
And at $5,000, I think it's a reasonable. So is it a backtrack or sack for you?
It's a back for me. This is a totally a no-brainer. This is a fantastic idea with the right price point and great payback. So it's a back.
Yeah, it's totally a back for me too, because I love how he's designed it where you don't have to totally rely on him to get all the stuff. Where a lot of other places are like, oh yeah, that's how we're going to get our recurring income. Where this guy's like, nah, you probably like, I think he'll probably eventually sell his own compressed air cans, but he's like, just use a normal one.
I just give you the design to make it work.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right, on to our next project. Speaking of CES, we've kind of talked about a project that we heard previews of this year at CES. This one you saw how long ago?
It was probably close to 5 years ago that I saw this project. It was. I'm trying to remember the name. It started with an A, but it was a phone essentially. It was like an asterisk phone, and the big selling point of this new phone was that it had all of the cool processing power that all of our cell phones have nowadays. But you would buy it in a bundle with a keyboard that had a dock and a screen and I believe a mouse or maybe even a trackpad. But those stayed together, so they were like a shell, right? A screen and a keyboard, and the processing power came from the phone. Mm-hmm. So it was this idea that the phone had a dual operating system, one that you could use touchscreen on the phone, and when you got to work, you'd pop it into this dock, and all of a sudden you had a desktop. Same power, same operating system.
Yeah, and I mean, like, people don't realize it, but the phones we have in our pockets are more powerful than some of the computers we were using like 10, 15 years ago.
They're amazing. So I saw this clear back, I think, in probably 2010, 2011 of CES, and I remember thinking, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's called the Andromium dock.
This one's the Andromium is this project. The one I saw was backed by one of the big phone companies, and it never materialized. The price point was way too high. It was like $400, $500 for this idea. So this project is called the Superbook by Andromium. So check out the Superbook. This is essentially the same thing, but it looks like a sexy little laptop with a full keyboard, and I believe it's a 10-inch display. Like, it's all there, and all you have to do is dock your phone. Like, you plug in your phone, and they've built the software that opens up your Android and makes it fully productive. You can edit documents, you can browse the internet, answer emails, play video games, even write code on this larger screen.
So I have to ask, so is it just using the processor in the phone, or is it doing like some of those Android docks where it kind of pushes a version of Android onto the screen, and you're essentially just running the phone?
I know the phone is powering it, but there is... I think there's a little bit of a firmware software on the machine itself, but it is. I think if that is it, because it uses the phone's Wi-Fi and its Bluetooth and everything comes from the phone. Mm-hmm. And I know that they have an open source or an SDK at least for the machine itself. So this is a good question that you have asked, but I know that the phone does a lot of it. The Superbook doesn't have a whole lot of extra oomph. Smart laptop shell gives you the screen, the keyboard, multi-touch trackpad, 8-hour battery, and phone charging capabilities. And then you get the full laptop experience when you plug it into your phone. So it's not doing much more than that. But think about it, like, it's never out of sync. You don't save anything on a separate device. You don't save anything onto the Superbook. It just expands the interaction that you can have with your phone.
I mean, I love this idea, and I just saw that you can actually. I think we covered a similar thing, but it didn't like turn it into a computer, but it allowed you to mirror stuff.
At least mirrored it, right?
You can do that with a Mac or a PC too. I just saw that on the screen, so you can use this as your second display on your Mac, and you and I both know that portable screen real estate is really important. So I'm like, if I only just had it for that, that'd be worth it to me.
Yeah, this to me, the price point, like $99 is amazing. $99 is just unbelievable to have a keyboard and a screen. They've got an update, I think, because they hit their mark already. In fact, they're well over their 50,000 goal. They are at 1,450,000. Wow, they are cruising. And I believe if you add in an extra $30, one of their stretch goals for $30 was getting up to a 1080p screen, because the original is not 1080p. But to me, it's just kind of, you could feasibly leave the Superbook at a workspace, or even have two of them, one in each, work at home, and then that phone would become your device, your like one and only move around device.
It's handy. Can I run Final Cut on this?
If your phone can run Final Cut, you would run Final Cut. It's actually only Android at this point.
Oh, sad.
So,
sad
for me,
sad
but
good for me, because
right.
on there.
So what they've written is just kind of like they're able to adjust the user interface, and so you plug in that Android and it's able to like display more like a desktop when it connects in. Anyway, the fact that I saw this years ago and it was just unwieldy and it didn't catch on and it cost so much money, and then to see it now where somebody's kind of packaged it up, made it more, I don't know, more what we're used to, I guess, with laptop flavor and look, and then put it in that $99 price range. That's amazing to me. That is why it is a back to me. And also the fact that it's already got a $1.5 million.
Oh yeah. They're like, I wouldn't be surprised by the time I publish this episode, there'll be over $1.5 million.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to shell some money over right now.
$99.
Because I mean, like even $99 for a second screen.
Yeah,
that's worth it already for me. And if I can use my phone on it, bonus.
Well, yeah, you could run around with this.
Because I mean, this would be a slight upgrade from my Chromebook that I use for events and stuff. Where why not? So, it's definitely back for me. All right, so for our last project of the night, this is one that you guys voted. So we've kind of talked a little bit about work in terms of cleaning, a little bit more fun with the Superbook, but still kind of work oriented.
It is work oriented, productivity.
Because I could see Drew like pulling this out and answering emails to his students saying, "I'm on vacation. Leave me alone."
Yes, that's right. You can't spell collage. I mean college, and you don't get to go to college.
So for our last project night, you guys voted for this. This is cool. Drew, I know you love playing puzzle games on the PS4.
I love a puzzle game.
PS4. How do you like doing like physical puzzles? You know, like kind of got to solve like those metal things where you got to disconnect them.
Where the rings are all interconnected and it's like, move this piece out. Yes, I love those. Yeah.
So how about this? How about a book of puzzles? And the only way you can actually turn the page is to solve the puzzle that's actually on that page. So that is our last project tonight. It's called Codex Selenda on there. Sorry, Brady, if I said that wrong. And it is a wood book that you have to solve each puzzle first before you can turn the page. And it's kind of about your Leonardo da Vinci's assistant, and you like accidentally start tinkering with his stuff. And the goal is to get through this whole book before Leonardo gets back and just, chastises you for touching his stuff.
It's the Sorcerer's Apprentice, right?
Yeah. On there. And what I love about it is like every page has a unique different puzzle. And there's like different runes and stuff you have to solve. He actually shows you all of them. Like the first one is a mechanical iris, and you have to figure out how to open the iris, or what's keeping the iris from fully opening, so you can change it to the next page. So that sounds cool enough, right?
Yes, I like this.
So what he's looking for is raising money to actually buy the laser printer so he can cut all of this. He's assembling them all by hand, and he does a smart thing too. You only get the first 500 people can actually buy an assembled one, but he is also selling an unassembled kit
that you would build yourself.
You would build yourself. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing. So if you're like me and I like putting stuff together on there, that's cool in itself, but it kind of takes a little bit away from the problem solving of the puzzles, because you see what, the gears and the cogs and everything underneath.
Yeah.
But what I think is cool is like I could get it, put it together. That'd be fun for me, and then give it to somebody like Drew and see if he can solve it.
He figured it out.
So you're getting like double the fun on there. And I do love that how he does offer both the unbuilt one and the built one, and he was smart enough to put a cap on the built one. I love what he wrote on there for the tip of the reason why they're only doing 500. Because we're assembling the codices ourselves and not through an overseas manufacturer, we will have to limit the number of our assembled codices to a maximum of 500 total, so we don't overpromise and end up putting ourselves in an early grave.
Can you imagine? Even 500
of these seems like a lot, but hey, they're planning on doing it. So I love this idea. It's a really unique thing. I mean, leave that on your table and people would be asking you questions.
Gosh, it's beautiful. Like this is like the perfect like fun office toy that just something to talk about. What is it? So what is it? Unassembled about 125.
550
for an assembled early bird,
or 175 for an assembled early bird, which
because they're already all gone.
Yeah, and I'd see people are probably like, that's expensive, but they're hand making all of these.
Right.
It's not like they're putting an assembly line together. They're purposely hand making it. And I mean, the sole reason he put this together is he found out that there's kind of a matrix where there's your super expensive puzzles that are complex and intricate and stuff, and then your super simple ones where you solve it once and it's no fun anymore, right? Yeah, and he wanted to build something in the middle, and I love how he put the storybook idea together with it.
This is amazing, and even he has levels that are kind of $35 level to get the Codex coasters, or $55 you get one page. Choose the page, and it'll send it to you. So he's still allowing people, maybe this is out of their price range for the full Monty, they still get to participate and enjoy this. This is so brilliant.
Yeah, and man, I'm like, you can get a personalized one.
$225 and all gone. $275. He has more at $275. So what do you personalize then? Just like he'll etch something for you?
Probably. I'd put Night 20 on there.
Yeah. It's like
now that's not gonna. I say that, it's like, yeah, definitely back at KT.
I need somebody to drop me some like spending money. This is a brilliant, fun idea.
So cool, and it's like people are like, well, what purpose is it? I'm like, it's cool.
It's cool. You don't have to be purpose. Like, put this on your coffee table, take it to your office. Like, this is like a talking piece.
Yeah, and it looks pretty too. It's not like he just glued stuff together. You can tell each page he kind of carefully planned and tuned it so it turned out perfect.
This is a back for me. So, I'm gonna find a way.
This is definitely a back for me too. So that is all our regular projects. Our next project is kind of a more hot topic related thing. So, Drew, do you play the Pokemons?
I do. I'm a level 15 Team Mystic. It's true.
So, because I remember you gave me weird looks when I was all excited that I was installing it, because I installed it on the day we were recording.
I think so.
And I still,
when I started, by the way, you were my gateway drug.
Yeah, and like I said, I still have Night 20 as a Pokemon on here.
That's right, you named it Pokemon.
I named my first Pokemon Night 20 after you, and he's still there because partially I can't find any Charmanders, but
you can't transfer him in. That's just cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna like boost him up. I'm gonna go because somebody told me there's a nest around us that has all Charmanders, so I'm just gonna go get a whole bunch of Charmanders and make you like a level 3000 or something.
There you go, evolve me.
I'm not even gonna evolve you. I'll just leave you at that.
Just keep boosting.
As a level 3000 Charmander. But so, if you guys haven't played the game, part of the game is you need to throw a Pokeball at the Pokemon for you to catch them.
Yeah.
And accuracy is important, right?
Yep. I call it flipping balls. And somebody will say, "What do you do today?" And I said, "I flip balls all day."
So, like, have you had the problem where it kind of just like curves, or you just miss and you're just wasting Pokeballs?
I have run out of Pokeballs like 3 or 4 times. And I never do this, but I broke down and bought Pokeballs.
Oh, you're the second person I know that's done that.
I do, and I never do that. And I found myself.
You in-app purchased.
I never do that. I had to go turn on in-app purchase so I could get that done. But I was downtown Disney walking, and they were everywhere. Everything's a Pokestop in downtown Disney. Everybody's playing, and everything had lures on it. There were Pokies everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so like
Peach was really irritated, but I bought balls.
She doesn't play?
No. The girls play with me though. That's fun.
Oh no, she wasn't excited that you got balls.
No,
that's really sad. That's really sad.
She don't love that.
Okay, so
to the sack.
Yeah, balls and sack. Wow. Our sack of the week is called Pokey Case, and it's a way for you to never miss another Pokemon. So what it is it's a clear plastic case you put on your iPhone, I believe, right? It doesn't even go on Androids. And it has a hole that's cut out that's perfectly, so if you slide your finger along that while you're trying to catch a Pokemon, you have the perfect throw every single time.
I don't even know what to say. Like, it's a fair idea.
This is like the most fad like thing, because let's be honest, somebody took one of those clear iPhone cases that you put to cover your back, turned it around and cut a slit in it.
Stick this on your phone and run your finger this way.
Yeah, and my question is, how are you supposed to unlock the phone and stuff? And like, imagine the process that you have to go to actually get this on. You either like have to flip it around or leave a second thing in your pocket, and then when you're ready to catch a Pokemon, you unlock your phone, get it down there, and then slap this thing on, and then you start sliding.
There's got to be a quicker like guide. Like if that's the whole goal to have like a finger guide for swiping, there's got to be a quicker and easier way than this.
And the other question is, how are you supposed to tap on the Pokemon? Like, so in between each Pokemon, you're gonna have to take the case off, tap on the next Pokemon, put the case back on, and then start sliding your finger again. Is it worth it at that point?
I'm trying to figure out. It shows one of these gifts. He shows like touching different parts of it, but yet, what's the point of the guide if it's all touchable?
Yeah, I don't understand.
There's a lot that we don't understand on this one, but this was certainly a sack because it wasn't like
it's such a fad thing because we all know Pokemon Go is like on the downturn right now.
Yeah, I mean it's already burned hot, and who knows how long it'll last. But I can't see this case being the answer. Sorry.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a little worried too because he's looking for 1,000 backers.
And $5,000 to make cases with holes
for a $7 case. There's a reason why manufacturers sell them for like 15 in stores and stuff.
It takes that much.
Saying, buddy.
Oh, this is great. He has a website called pokeycase.us. It redirects back to
So that annoys me so badly. Because you guys might not know this, but every time we post an episode, I make a conscious effort to go email each of the project creators, and when they do that and they don't put an email on their Kickstarter page, they don't get an email.
Well, I'm not sure Pokey Case with the sack of the week wants to hear from us.
But I'm just saying, contact information is always good. So on there, so that is the sack of the week, and that, my friends, is another episode of the KickCast. Drew, I really don't know where the time ever goes on here, but I love doing the show with you. What are you doing before you have to go back to the drudgery of teaching? I shouldn't say that because I know you love teaching.
I do love teaching,
but I don't think you like going through the steps to get to the teaching point.
Right, it's the red tape around it. But I do. Not only am I excited about getting back to teaching, I have a really light load this semester. Light. So I have extra days off.
Oh, you're only teaching 8 classes instead of 10. Okay.
Yeah, but I have some time to continue working with my live streaming stuff with Facebook, VidPresso, so that'll be fun. And I'm going back into a newly renovated space, so new light system, new lighting grid, new podcasting studio. Like I'm pretty excited to play with those things, but I don't even get to see them till first day of school, assuming they hit their deadline.
Yeah, we should make a video of us just like touring around the new place and playing with all the goodies. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, that would be fun. That first week, you should come up and play with all the new things that I have. That'd be awesome.
And then we'll have your students, and then we'll critique them how bad they're. That is a terribly framed shot. You did not capture the joy in my face properly.
I love this. I love this idea. So yeah. So between now and then, I am just relaxing. I am just trying to do as little as possible. Just hanging out with the kids still.
Going on Poke Walks. Catching some Pokemons on there. So make sure you stay tuned to Drew's adventures. You know, you never know when he's going to hit the road next. So twitter.com/Knight20, KNITE20 on there. I have it bookmarked, so yeah.
So you can always see what I'm up to.
So if you guys have any suggestions for projects, sacks of the week, or want to do a kick shout, shoot us an email, kickcast@ktdata.net. Or you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/KickCast. Or you can tweet us, like I said, Knight20 for Drew, Ktdata for myself. They both start with Ks. Or at KickCast for the show.
Also okay.
Yep. On there. And of course, I didn't do that on purpose, guys.
KKK.
You can check out the show notes at kickcast.net. Our next episode will be, August 16th.